Alright, welcome to our second level of Sniper Elite. Starting now where we left off the first tutorial level. We're going to go ahead and just skip right into the game.
Intel told me my next target was Dr. Gunter
My
Kreidel,
apologies for the mouse.
an expert in rocket
I
engines.
am playing on a PC, but I do use an Xbox 360 controller for it.
We believed he was carrying documents that would lead me to the V2 production facility, where the other 3 scientists were waiting. I'd identified a point on the route where I could lay a booby trap and stop the convoy. Naturally, the area was defended. I'd expect nothing less.
Now, many of you will recognize the second part of this level as the level from the demo. With as much practice as most people who play this game, or at least the demo, have gotten off this should be a really quick jump. This is also the first level where you get to customize your gear. Having gone through the game several times, I do have access to all the normal loadout that you pick up throughout. Now, the Springfield is your first weapon. Then you end up with the Gewehr and the Mosin Nagant. The arrow does continue to the right, but the last weapon is the AR-96, 97, I forget. The German rifle that's added on in the expansion pack, which, as I've stated before, I don't have. I will be selecting the MP40 as the ammunition is plentiful. You can take the Thompson if you want to be hardcore American, but there is 0 ammo for this weapon. The 30 rounds they give you at the beginning is all you get. If you take it, you will end up dropping it, and it's basically a waste. By taking the MP40, you do get 30 extra rounds that you can use, and then whatever you collect off the bodies. The Welrod is your easy mode gun. It is silenced. You will get plenty of ammo for it. It does only fire 1 round and is extremely accurate at long range, but it makes 0 noise. You have the Colt M19 and the Luger P08, neither of which I've actually ever used in any of the games. For the first mission, I'm going to take 2 trip mines. Landmines are nice, kind of cute, but they're basically tripwires without the wire. So whether or not someone sets it off is dependent on if they run over it. So you're best at setting it on corners or in the middle of hallways, things like that. If you can shoot them to set them off, I don't know, but you get dynamite later, so even setting this up is kind of pointless. So we're going with tripwires for now. I always like to think that when I play these games, I give my character a personality that I try to emulate. Our dear unnamed sniper likes to be stealthy in this case. As I said previously, it's a professionalism thing. If you're going to train long and hard to fire hundreds upon hundreds of yards down a line to kill somebody with a single shot, you have to take pride in your work. Running up on somebody and just emptying a clip into their back it screams unprofessional. Why would I want to be a sniper when I can just be a machine gunner or a grenadier or something similar to that? I've often found that the Nazis on Sniper Elite difficulty have extremely strange senses, where you would normally believe that you're in their line of sight, on the left or the right, maybe out of the corner of their eye. They don't see you, but then randomly they may see you hiding behind something. So mapping out the positions where it's easier to sneak up on them or get in a position to sneak up on them is great. Downside is that all of the non-combat AI is exactly the same. They will always take the same route, they will always move the same distance, and they will always turn in the same direction. Maybe that's good on a first playthrough. Maybe you say to yourself, well, the first time you're playing the game, yeah, that you're never going to expect which way they turn or which way they go. But second or third time, you want them to mix it up. You want to say, I want him to turn left instead of right. I want him to surprise me. Again, them being as predictable as they are, I now set this tripwire up. I know they're going to come through this door. I also know that more than one set's going to come through this door, so now I have 2 tripwires. In obvious positions, of course. I also know there's going to be a Nazi around this corner with his back to me. Things like this. At this point, the game, I know the game isn't about, it's not Splinter Cell. You're not trying to you know, outsmart your enemies, or figure out which direction to go, or climb through vents and come up and slice people's kneecaps, or whatever you happen to do. But at the same time, if a soldier's AI is programmed to be so complacent and bored that he walks the same path every time and doesn't look around, you have to wonder, you know, what the game is trying to tell you. I mean, might as well just all have them standing up in a row. Okay, and here comes our first, or my first, windage shot with bullet drop. Once again, I am using the Mosin Nagant rifle, which adds the additional notches. It actually helps a lot when it comes to gauging distance, without any indication of which direction the bullet's going to drop. I'm going to have to guess on this. So let's see if we get ourselves a good, clean kill. Oh, okay, it looks like we got ourselves a hit. And what's our prize? Right in the heart. On one of my test playthroughs, I was actually quite upset that it didn't record as well as I had hoped. I had shot that sniper in the same position, and it was actually my first testicle shot. It fit really well with the video. The video had actually been very gory up to that point, and I was very happy with it, but the audio was bad and the recording was bad, so I ended up having to trash it. I've never been good at moving targets. That should be a double. A lot of these shots, when they say 2 for 1 or double kill, and I wonder like how fatal such a shot could actually be. I mean, there are some shots, yeah, that's a lung. There's no way to survive that. But in that one, I hit him in the shoulder. Now, I'm not big on guns. I know a little bit about certain guns, but I really don't know a lot about calibers and distance and bullet drop, windage, things like that, and how that affects how a round hits a body. But I'm pretty sure some of these shots are less fatal than the game suggests. I'm not sure where that's gonna hit. I guess I've often stated when discussing this game with others, I guess at one point you have to take away the realism of a kill shot and replace it with the idea that once an enemy is incapacitated enough to no longer want to fight you, that is where your game suggests that he's then dead or incapacitated or out of the loop. There was a suggestion during the initial release of this game, as well as I believe during one of the previews, that wounding an enemy would be possible. Shoot one in the kneecaps, he lies there, cries out, maybe his buddy comes and gets him, and much as in Saving Private Ryan and other sniper-related films, you could then use that person as bait. I have seen very little of that in this game. I've seen very little, even a wounding shot, such as the guy you saw with his leg getting shot as a secondary wound, where the bullet has lost most of its velocity. That was considered a kill shot, even though that is a perfect wounding shot to allow a guy to drop and call out, "Excuse me, help me, help me." I have seen in the demo, playing the demo, I did see 1 or 2 of those guys go down, and they did call out. Their buddy would go and try to pick them up, and then you had the option of getting a double kill by shooting through one and into the other. But in the main title, whether it's just the way I kill, or perhaps it's just bad luck, but I very rarely see that. I will say that I do disappoint myself often. I try to get interesting shots. As you saw with the sniper, I hit him in the heart. And I say to myself, well, see, that's an interesting shot because now you see internal organs. But once you get the feel of a rifle, bullet drop, windage, and things like that, you hit the same spot on a body more often than not. In my case, it's the upper right quadrant of my target. I usually often hit the shoulders or the head, whether it's a temporal shot, maybe it's an eye socket or a jaw or a cheekbone. Sometimes I may hit collarbone or fingers. From time to time you will see additional information. You'll see like fingers being torn off for a second in the bone structure. You'll see that, and their fingers will come off because you've hit them in the hand. But most of the time all you really see is bone breaking and skull shots. Every once in a while, as I said, you'll see an eye. Maybe you'll hit them in the eye socket, but or whatnot. But things like testicle shots and heart shots, kidney, liver, lungs, those are less than what you normally see. So now that one's actually more visceral than what I'd normally see in this game. Kind of kicked the wind out of my statement just then. Okay, unfortunately I used both of my trip mines. I like to set this up to when they rush in here, and they do rush in here. I like them to hit the trip mine so I don't have to bother with them, but once again, I use both my trip mines, so... You know, for AI being as smart as they are, which is hilarious because they know exactly where you are as soon as you fire off that first round. They don't even have to guess where you are. If you fire off a round without any kind of background noise, they will run right to you. They would take the only path to get to you, and they will be on top of you within seconds. But as soon as that first one rounds the corner, you can guarantee that all of his buddies are going to come running around that corner too. This also tends to take away from gameplay in the sense of AI. Some of the guys, like the ones I shot at the end of the road, they will absolutely try to hide from you. They will hide behind the truck or stay in the back, and they won't run at you. But the ones that are closer up, they will run directly to you without even thinking about it. And it's like, this is a sniper game. This is a sniper game. I get one clean kill and 2 rushed kills with a long-range weapon, and now I'm required to pull out my sidearm and just start blowing holes in whatever comes around the corner. That seems less like a sniper game. It's not even tactically advantageous. Once you know how the AI responds to situations, you absolutely know they're coming at you. As I said, 1 or 2 rounds, and then I turn, and either I've set up trip mines where I know they're going to show up, or I just sit there with a gun and just take them out as they come around the corner. This is one of the few maps where you'll see me variate my attack instead of rushing straight in. I discovered this back alley during the demo. Play a demo enough times, you eventually get bored doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, he heard me. You play the demo and eventually you think, you know what, I've got to mix this up if I'm going to play this without getting bored with it. So you find different routes and different ways of doing things. I happened to find that back alley, which then allowed me to do this. This gentleman sometimes will hear you, sometimes will not. It depends on his position, I believe, or the way you fall onto the ground. I'm not sure. Really, you just have to pause and listen, and sometimes you'll hear him, you know, say something Germanish. And he usually stands here in the front. If you've played this, you'll know that he stands here. And if you shoot him from down at the end, his 2 buddies in the cafe, who you can see there, will come out and start attacking you. I like to kill him silently from close up, either with a pistol or by snapping his neck with a silent kill. And then I get to pull off one of the more fun double kills in the game. It's not very great for pointage, but it is, as I said, I played the demo a lot. It is one of the first double kills you can set up without actually having to do anything. It is entertaining to see how they die, and as disgusting as that may sound, as you can see, they do usually sit in their chairs. This guy on the right more than on the left. Some of the extras in the game are things like the bottles and the gold, which you may have seen on the menu on my last playthrough. I have all the bottles on this level. There were some, like there was one up there, and I think there was one on top of that plate. As for the gold bars, you'd think that a glowing gold bar, and I have seen them, they're very shiny, very gold, would stand out in a level like this, but I believe I have searched through most nooks within the game, any place, or within the level, any place that you can get to, such as, you know, you can't get up there or anything like that, but any place you can normally get to, I've tried to at least take a gander and see if maybe the gold brick is in there, but I'm still missing 4 or 6 on this level out of 10, and there's really not that many places to hide those things, so wherever they are, I don't know. I've thought about looking through walkthroughs, but it just doesn't seem that important to me. Maybe there's an achievement for it that I need to get or something, but there's no extra guns, weapons, points, or anything like that I have to worry about, so I just skip it for the moment. This is another one of those positions where you have to know what's coming. I like this one because it sets up one of the worst ambushes in the game as far as I can recall. I very rarely get a clean shot on that gentleman. Alright. Now his commander, or somebody, will come down the stairs, as you can see his shadow. And I've never been able to hit him in the head. I think it's because of my low position, but this ends up being one of the bloodiest corpses with the most bullet impacts that I usually get in the game. It's also one of the few times I don't mind using my sidearm. If only because I feel that by setting up that shot, I have done something more professional than just standing there waiting for them to come around a corner like cattle. For speed, I do try to run, but unfortunately any kind of movement, any kind of fast movement in this game tends to get your heart rate up. The cutscene that's coming up will give me time to compensate for that, but you're better off spending most of your time ducked or crawling, which extends playtime, but not in the way you'd want. I had a conversation with a coworker regarding the gas caps on the front of the APC that just detonated. We asked ourselves, who, you know, Germans who are so efficient, why would they put gas caps, 4 gas caps on the front of an armored vehicle? And we looked it up, and that's an actual design. The gas caps on the front of the vehicle are not actually part of the gas can. They are individual gas cans that were inserted into a plate that's actually in the front of the vehicle. Actually, I believe all the gas cans, or all the explosives on that vehicle, are external gas cans, extra gas storage. So, great for accuracy, historical accuracy, great for easy target. Ouch, that was a nice shot there. Easy kills, easy target, I suppose, but hilarious in the fact that we thought that would be the rather silly thing to do. I'm getting shot here for a stupid reason. But I think that just detonated the Nazi. I'm not going to try to take out the tank right now. I wait until after I take out all the walkers. To use a Walking Dead term. All the mobiles, mobs, or whatever. Using the term Nazi too many times, even in a game where you're describing German soldiers, is to me overkill. But I'm particular like that. The additional explosion before, when I thought I had detonated a soldier's, a soldier's. Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's a tank shooting at me. Yeah, as I was gonna say, the grenade kills that they show from time to time are extremely hard to get, both because, as you see, because Grenade is down there on his coat, they're very random. The grenade has moved, or does move. It's sometimes on the belt, sometimes on the chest. From time to time you'll see it on the back. Also, at distance, it's difficult to tell the difference between a grenade and the trench shovel. I'm not entirely sure what the military term for that particular device is, or even what the German word for it is, but the trench shovel that they have, the handle looks a lot like a grenade handle, so from time to time you'll think, hey, look, a grenade shot, and you'll hit them in the ass, and all you'll hit is flesh and metal because there's actually no grenade there. Okay, now this shot's going to be difficult because I'm nearly flat with the pardon me, I'm nearly flat with the gas can lid, and I've never been able to hit this on the first try. So let's see if maybe I can get lucky on this. Yeah, too low, so raise it up a notch. There it is. Now, having watched Kelly's Heroes, I'm not sure how many of you have ever even heard of that film. I am led to understand that the Tiger II, which I believe is what that is, has a weak tail, and that's due to that being where the engine is located. It's also, tanks usually don't advance in reverse, so I'm assuming that's also because less armor means more speed, and you don't need it in the back. So the fact that shooting a gas can detonate an entire tank, I believe Mythbusters may have suggested that shooting a gas can at all doesn't do anything, but we'll go ahead and throw that out the window for a moment and say that if we could detonate a gas can with a bullet, perhaps it could actually do that kind of damage to a tank. If not detonate the entire thing, then maybe damage the engine enough to where it couldn't come at you. Whether that would stop the turret or the crew from following through is an unknown factor. But once again, suspension of disbelief for the purpose of entertaining gameplay is something not to scoff at. Okay, I'm not 100% sure if that Nazi is still out there. I thought I saw one run behind the tank before I detonated it. Whether he died or if he's still there, I don't know, so I'm being slightly more cautious than I would normally be. Now, this has always entertained me. This shows the level of scripting that unfortunately has been part of 3D gaming since it has begun. When it comes to 3D games, you have to get the models where they need to be, or it can break the game. The explosion having gone off on this pallet, thus blowing the truck to the right, and as you saw in the video, the guy was sitting in the left, and yet he is lying here on the concrete, on the sidewalk, you know, while his two compatriots are still in the truck. Not impossible, I'm sure. I'm sure people have landed in all sorts of weird places after explosions, especially when inside of a vehicle, but he always sits in that spot. If he dies within the truck, they always plant his body there. Otherwise, he dies where you shoot him. In case anyone was wondering why I did not wait for them to get to the second explosive pack, that was it. You do have two people who come around the corner at you. You can shoot them, but I find that when you're leaving a level is when you're most likely to be running, usually with whatever weapon you had out. If that is your sniper rifle, your heart rate is up, you're running at full speed, they come out, you're going to die. There's no way to get around that. so I happen to use that second explosive pack to take them out, just so I can speed through it. Alright, yes, see, as I said, 6 out of 10 gold bars, so I am missing 4. 100% accuracy, that has never happened before. It's a red letter day. Alright, we have just finished the second level of Sniper Elite V2. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.